do this one, and man, oh man, days like today convinced me that karma is real, and I'm someone that for many years, for a lifetime, was not one that was very religious or spiritual or believed in supernatural anything. I was very always to the core and explain things that I can understand. But and even when it came to things like karma. So this has been very interesting, and of course, I'm gonna say what I want to say regarding all of this hullabaloo happening in the Creek Squad world. What's up, White Dragon owner? Warrior. I gotta do this. Alright, so first off, and I've come to understand, realize, fully accept, I don't care. I know, again, last time I'll ever mention it, that a huge, massive chunk of this channel's existence and subscribers are all because how many freaking years ago already? 2? 4? I don't know. It really feels like it was almost a decade ago. That's not the case. What's up, Saffron? Wowie indeed. Okay, and you know exactly what this is about. I tried to add, but who cares? So, the tail of the tape here. Years and years ago, first off, okay, staying on track regarding the subscriber base. I accept. It's okay. You are not going to hurt my feelings because I'm going to say things that are going to make you want to unsubscribe, just like the last time I decided to do a live regarding this. And it just so happens to be, this is not as a result of what I wanted, it's a result of what is. I am inextricably always going to somewhat be tied to Creek Squad and Upchurch and Patty, Upchurch's mother, because years ago when the 4 month span I spent of pretty much being a simp, like I have to be honest, Stephen A. man, brother, I love you like a brother. Truly, you've been a ride or die, man, and I hope you're okay with sticking around after I say what I have to say, because the last time I did a live with this title and said what I needed to say, I was getting some messages about I'm unsubbing and I lost some people, but I've grown. I've grown as a human being because of that experience, and I've grown to accept that I don't care. I don't care about public opinion. I don't care about optics. I don't have a PR anything. I don't care, and I haven't done things nearly as bad as Ryan Upchurch. Like, there's the part of me that pities what he's going through, and then I remember, even though he didn't personally see to everything that happened, but he has done things that have been very damaging to himself and to innocent families regarding his true crime endeavor, and him seemingly going after his own friends, his final friends, and it's coming down to his hardcore supporters. They're all being chased away, and anybody that has tried to warn him, give concern, or like blow the whistle regarding him has not been dealt with kindly. And I was one of kind of the OGs that dug right in. What's up? Hello. Welcome to anybody that jumps in. If I read comments during my diatribes, I get lost in a la la land, but I do read the comments and every single one of them. If you don't know who Psychobabble Rap is, I'm saying that PBR, once upon a time, I even went after PBR when I felt inundated by Creek Squad. And Ryan Upchurch himself and his mother shared my links multiple times. And I'll never forget last time I want to tell this story because I have so much more happening in life. Things are going really swell. I'm making a lot of money right now. Full-time job and 2 side hustles. So I'm going after all the people that I see. Creek Squad is clearly entertained, and they reward you, and they pay you. And then you get the people that are behind the scenes that have their own channel presences and seem to have some sway in the Creek Squad community, all taking me in, and then it got weird. Power Stroke and Captain Kurt. Power Stroke interrogating me on Thanksgiving for like 3 hours about like what my intentions are, what am I doing. Like, it was the strangest experience, meeting a stranger on Instagram, reaching out to me, going out of his way to reach out to me. Yes, it's history, but I feel like this is, given everything that's happening, I could finally just rip it, just, take it out of the chest and lay it all bare. Pull a little Elon Musk, and throw my heart at you. Let me not do the full motion there. So, Captain Kurt was the very first person regarding the Creep Squad. What's up, Krupp? Regarding the Creep Squad, Crack Squad community who did the following to me. And I find this also karmically hilarious that I had my official first day outside of training in a brand new fantastic corporation that's paying me handsomely. So PBR, it was somebody everybody wanted to go after, and everybody that was grifting and simping for Upchurch and grifting the Creek Squad community knew that if you went after Psychobabble Rap, you got an attaboy. You got an attaboy, and you got treated like you're something special. And that whole community would, just make you feel like you're on top of the world. And I was so taken in, and I mean, I take my own accountability. I allowed myself to get invested in Upchurch's true crime endeavors. I let myself think outside of the box, and that's not what I'm penalizing myself for. There came a point, though, where I identified that what he did was terrible, weaponizing his channel to destroy other people, and I became one of the cronies to destroy someone else's channel. And there is somebody to this day whose channel is a shell of its former self, entirely dead, and I just last night decided to go check it out. I wanted to apologize. Like, I've almost covered the bases of everybody regarding this whole arc in my life, and we've all apologized to one another and moved on, but there's just like a couple. There's one, I don't give a shit, screw them, they can go rot, the little wicked witch of the west, whose name I don't even want to put out there. Let her live her shitty little life, doing her little witchcraft, smoking her bud with her unsuccessful podcasting. I have no qualms, no illusions that I am not trying to build a successful channel here. I just need to live my truth and rant when I want to. So, I'm hosting a live show, as I often did, with panels, and I had anybody that wanted to come up speak. And Creek Squad, Crack Squad, the good ones, the bad ones, we're all in there, and I remember somebody who went on a harassment doxing campaign on me came up on that panel, and PBR, even though he didn't know who I was, and I just knew making fun of him got me an attaboy. This young lady, Piglet, came up onto my live panel and told everybody, and at that time the chat rooms were big, there was a lot of numbers, and this crazy freaking tarred woman got on there and told everybody to call CPS on Psychobabble Rap's home. Like, she encouraged them for I don't know how long. She went on this whole long rant, this grandstanding rant, to call CPS because what? Because why? This was a really stupid thing, and I remember the details. I don't know how important it is to rehash. I'll just leave it at some dumb biatch went and pretty much, like, how do I say this? Under a complete false pretense, like catfish style, got him to say a joke, because what was happening was a joke, and it was a trap, and he saw it for what it was, and then so he just said some things, like, off the cuff that would be considered not very sensitive. And so this woman, in revenge, came onto the channel, on this channel, all those years ago, and told everybody watching, I don't know how many, at that time, maybe it was like 300, 400, 500 people, go call CPS on that guy. Go, please do it. It's what you have to do. These are the kinds of things that Creep Squad was doing for so long, for years, and nobody was calling it out. PBR was one of the first to call it out. I don't want to mention this name too often. AD originally was like the sheriff that was going after all the simps. AD, I don't know what you're doing anymore, man, and I'm not judging you. I don't visit your channel too often. I see you game a lot, but I listen to your channel like once in a blue moon. I see you're just going after people from time to time. To each their own. But regardless, so with that happening on my channel, I felt accountable. I was like, oh my god, I do not want people to call CPS on anybody because they don't like them on the internet. So I went to Psychobabble Rap's live stream the very next night because he had called my name out and said, look at the crap that's happening with the people in this group. And so I went on that live stream with my full face forward and I apologized. I apologized. I was the only person in that group of Creek Squad, and I'm referring to real Creek Squad back then, when people were in it for the music and the camaraderie. I'll tell you, one beautiful thing about what that community's potential was how inviting and accepting they were of a Yankee, which is a term he doesn't use very lightly anymore, like me, and supporting me, sending me super chat, things I never asked for. I've never once asked for a donation. They were sending me donations and buying subscriptions to my channel. I felt like I considered quitting all of like full-time work and just going into YouTube full-time because the success was intoxicating. It was I cannot even describe it, and it's not often that I'm a miss for words. It's like going viral on a smaller scale, but I mean, imagine going from 10 viewers to 4,000 is what happened the next day after he and his mom shared my link back to back. So I apologized, PBR, and he was so happy with that apology. He's like, that's how a man does it, takes accountability and apologizes. And then here's where Captain Kurt reacts. So Captain Kurt and I have spoken here and there on panels in the 80s chat. In the past, we were able to be there like adults and not, do the whole Creek Squad chicken head drama core stuff. We've been able to be there and exist and coexist, but I'm never gonna forget, and this is why it's karma has shown itself to be true. He was the very first Creek Squad gatekeeper because he was one of the biggest names for Creek Squad, the most complimented Creek Squad simp, cuck simp in that world at that time. He, Power Stroke, the one who interrogated me on Thanksgiving like he had nothing else going on, and what he did, which was so underhanded, and what was so crazy about it, is all the people that were now supporting me at that time were messaging me in a state of like pure pressure. I'm a guy that works a lot. I'm 40 years old. I have not been unemployed longer than 2 months since I was 12 years old. I'm a worker bee. Okay, I have to make money. I have to support the roof over my head and the family that I have. It's just mandatory. There's no other way. There's no other way to go around that. So at that time, and Captain Kurt, if you see this, I don't care if you do, I'm not so much mad at you anymore, but back then, I was intimidated. Oh my god, how stupid and it's like I was a teenager back then because I allowed myself to care too much what other people thought, and when I saw other people talking about me on YouTube, and I felt like I had no control, and it was such a weird feeling that I didn't know how to deal with. So he made a live stream while I was at my full-time job, and he tagged or did an @Progressive Patriot, get in here, and everybody is swamping me on YouTube, on Instagram. They're like, yo, get on Captain Kurt's live. I'm like, I'm working. And some of my awesome, kind-hearted supporters at the time, like real ones, not only because I went after somebody like the Upchurch and that community at the time wanted me to. They wanted the enemies of Upchurch to suffer very publicly. That was their whole PR movement at that time, and it never sat well with me. That's why I think I only lasted 4 months until I had to start calling out things that were a little crazy, and the inner workings of the community were just shady, absolutely shitty. So he was mad. Captain Kurt was mad at me and demanding that if I didn't show my face, because he decided he's king shit, that he was gonna go live and I had to, no matter what I was doing. I could have been delivering a baby. I could have been delivering triplets, or delivering. Sorry. Yeah. All right. There's a plot twist, by the way. Me. Yeah. I was delivering triplet. No. I could have been like helping a lady give birth. I could have been saving kids out of a falling bus off of a cliff. No, I was working, Captain Kurt, and you took the opportunity to act like you were king fucking shit and tagged me and demanded that I stop everything just to show face and apologize for apologizing. Because at that time, Creek Squad and its arbiters and its gatekeepers did not allow and frowned upon anybody who was affiliated talking for themselves, like to the truest extent. For me, being sincere outside the confines of that community, and the kings and the queens of that community deemed it, this is unacceptable. We're canceling Progressive Page. That was the beginning of the end of me and Creek Squad. That moment right there, because I apologized for one of their crazy people demanding CPS go mess with this man's family. And how underhanded is that? And those are the things, like, 4 months is how long I lasted. Then I started calling out all of that crap that I saw them doing. And what happens when you called it out? Then the doxing, the trolling, the incessant, sock accounts, the harassment. And I say harassment lightly because I understand, I've grown through this experience, and I'm grateful for it, because I wouldn't have the wisdom I do now if I didn't. I wouldn't be as tough as I am now. I would still be a prisoner or a hostage to worrying about what other people think about me, or even worrying about, oh my God, they're live right now on YouTube and they're talking about me, and I'm not there to defend myself in the comments, which was it was its own brand of psychological torture. And why we cared so much, how obsessively I would be checking my analytics. It was a sickness. It truly was a sickness, and a part of that sickness was acting in step to feel that I was accepted by a bunch of people I never met. They threw money at me, never asked for it, and I wanted to save face with them, but I wasn't willing to play the game. Wasn't willing to go after others and dox them, or entice people to go mess with them in real life, or to send them packages to their home address, or the calling of other people's jobs and trying to get them fired. I will never be a part of that kind of behavior. I call it out now. I called it out then, and that was truly what began the complete downfall of my standing with Creek Squad. So, Captain Kurt, I understand that your boy, well, he's not your boy anymore. Ryan Upchurch has blocked you, Captain Kurt. And yes, right now, given all the circumstances and the feedback, or I guess painting the picture I have and knowing what we've gone through, even though it's years ago, but you know what? Memory's a bitch like that. Not all of us forget. So I haven't forgotten. It hasn't lived rent-free in my head. I haven't been obsessing about it, but of course I remember it. Because, at the time, it made my heart palpitate, dude. I was like, oh my God, what is he doing? It's the beginning of the end. Oh, woe is me. And now you're the guy you've worshipped like a golden goose and God, that you've simped for, made excuses for, never took accountability. You and the crew, whoever they are these days, would always laugh at anybody, voices like PBR, that would simply call out all of the wrongdoings, like the whole Rodney case and saying she didn't exist, and then doxing and talking about Kaylee Ross and saying that's really her. Like what that community and Upchurch all did as a group is criminal, and he is getting sued because of that. And you know what? All of you, the Captain Kurtz and the Wade Devers and like all of those little subset channels that were there for strictly glazing Ryan Upchurch's knob day in, day out, 30-hour streams, all of you, your comeuppance is here because Ryan Upchurch has clearly lost his goddamn mind in its entirety. His one of the most OG Creekers, Deerdorf, who has been a ride or die, who has no incentive to betray Ryan Upchurch. You know, literally, Ryan said it himself. And Deerdorf said it himself. He lives in a house that's paid for by him. The car is paid for by him. And just like PBR touched on, why would anybody, what kind of a friend would get mad? Let me see. Let me pull out a name. Seafouls. Seafouls, how dare you, sir? How dare you go and make a name for yourself outside of the Progressive Patriot name? How dare you go on HBO Max in that documentary about Bam Margera and the crazy channels around there? And that's a true story. Seafouls right there. Go check this channel out. Yeah, so just look at how that looks right now, okay? This little play I'm doing right now. Seafouls, how dare you have any success outside of my blessing? Share. I miss you, and I hope all is well. It's good to see you. That's Voices Behind the Wall. Go, please, check out that channel. The names I call out are people that have been with me from then till now, and it's been such a blessing. And Steven, so good to see you here, bro. Like, still here. Because I'm sure people like Stephen A., who I know have been passionate Creek Squad folk from day one, just like the Deerdorfs and all of like the people that have shown concern and care. Everybody that's shown concern and care for Ryan Upchurch, RU, has gotten burned at this point. And I saw all those comments where they're like, dude, you're burning all the bridges. There's like, now it's finally the minority of people that are holding out and continuing to simp for the sake of simping, or they don't know, like Creeker Mariah. No, this is no bad ill will to you. I'm naming names. I don't give a shit anymore. Okay, I've reached that threshold. Creeker Mariah, do you not remember when they turned against you? I see you're still doing the thing where you're just glazing all of them blindly and never calling out anything they do. And when they turned on you, you didn't like it. They took advantage of your name and your kindness, and it appears you've learned nothing. I haven't checked out too much of your channel, but you're still hearting every comment that's a positive about Ryan Upchurch. So all of the people that consider themselves true fans or friends, if you think you really care about him and you're not telling him that it's not everybody, Ryan, it's you. You're the common denominator here. And I see other people trying to make more conspiracies. It's Beth. It's his wife. How dare you, and what evidence do you have of that? I haven't seen anything to show that. She doesn't look too excited to be in his videos or anything like that. But come on, man. Look what he did with ACAL, Struggle. It was the guy where he's like, oh, look at the, how do I properly use this word? The guy that likes pizza in that dude's video. And look at, also, separately from that, of course, Just in Time. Like, look at the list of enemies he has made simply by, I mean, all of them, to my knowledge. Every name I have just let out are people that either became too successful on their own without Upchurch's blessing, because that's necessary, mandatory, apparently, or they just... Here was another big issue I had with when I was Creek Squad. People watched where I went and what chats I went to. Insane. They would actually get mad and have like an intervention style conversation with me about, like, we saw you at this channel, man. What are you doing over there? So take that and multiply it by a billionfold, and that's what Ryan Upchurch has been doing to all of his people. All of his people, all of his good, die-hard, ride-or-die fans and friends. One of the first ones to call him out, someone I also made fun of just because I wanted to please the gatekeepers, Upchurch, and Creek Squad, was Beachside Redneck. I haven't seen him on YouTube because, you know, he has an actual life. He's the guy that had... He met Ryan Upchurch on his vacation. Ryan gave him a guitar and signed it. And the guy decided to sell it. And that was one of the first red flags I noticed, that how quickly Upchurch can turn on everybody. Now, it's okay. I'm not like what I'm discussing here. I won't... Hey, BSR, there's you are. There's the guy right there. All right? all BSR, Beachside Redneck, was guilty of was having a lovely family vacation, meeting one of the people that was like a legend to him, or maybe that's too much, but somebody who was like, wow, here's somebody with a lot of talent. I'm so grateful. They had a great time together, and then Ryan Upchurch has to spoil it because he's policing what he believes other people should or should not be doing. And it's just gone too far too long. So the point I was sticking at here is it's okay if you still like Ryan Upchurch. I'm never going to judge anybody. Like, this is not Democrats and Republicans, all right? Like, I'm a Trumper. If I hear that you liked Joe Biden, I'll laugh in your face, but I'm not going to absolutely, like, I'm not going to send my cronies after you. I'm not going to make video after video about you. I'm not going to find your job. I'm not going to make up stories about you. You know, it's just not my style. You can still support the man, but I hope you have the presence of mind to be sincere and real. Something that's often preached about too much by Ryan Upchurch specifically, about how, you know, you gotta be real, and I'm too real for this and that. And then when it comes to, you know, some of his fan base, that's the opposite of what they do. They'll just entice him and encourage him to continue down this destructive path, nothing more. And at the end of the day, if that's all Upchurch focuses on, it's only going to get worse. And I don't want to see the worst possible outcome happen, no matter how I view him or the deeds he's done. I don't think any of us want to see him harm himself. Those frickin' dilated pupils is a real deal red flag. Yeah, I have some level of concern. I don't know him personally, but if you're really a fan, you need to be one of the voices. And look at it also this way. There's so much concern, and I think for the first time, by the sheer veracity and the amount of comments he received on that Instagram post of his, he disabled comments. Something I don't think I've ever expected that guy to do in his entire career. So that's got to tell you something. What's going to retain up here, if he's going to learn something and move forward and show that he is capable of taking accountability and apologizing, two things that I think are his greatest kryptonite. It's his greatest enemy. That man, sorry if I'm sorry, I came back from a really, really hard, not hard, oh yeah, a hard day of hard-ass labor. What this new job is going to get me toned, son. But yeah, so I think I said a lot of what I wanted to say. Captain Kurt, for all those years of simping, son, and you know, you had your moments where you looked a whole ass fool, especially when you tried to go toe to toe with Adam Calhoun on, I think, Triple T's channel. You know, look where all that blind faith and hope, or, you know, there's a part of me that just hopes you were really trying to be the ultimate friend, but damn, son, you went so above and beyond that, to where, like, it looked like you stood for absolutely nothing, and you didn't know how to stand for, you know, just yourself, like solidarity. Every first and second thought or word was just about how amazing Ryan is, how if he's done wrong, you misunderstood, or you just didn't understand, and you never took accountability. You and 3 other channels were a part of that whole Rodney thing, and I was also at the time interested enough to where I watched it on a daily basis. I was at one of my high school reunions, and I was watching it because I was so hypnotized, but that only lasted so long, and then the clarity starts to kick in. I mean, you can only follow a trail of conspiracy breadcrumbs long enough until solid evidence provides itself and you change your mind. Something that is surprisingly really controversial these days, especially if you decide to be on a public platform like YouTube and others. I'm here to say it's okay to change your mind. It's okay. It's even, I encourage it. It's a sign of growth. It's not a sign of flip-flopping and being a traitor. No. If you get new information and you're able to change your opinion as a result of new information, and by God, even going as far as humbling yourself or acknowledging that you were wrong, and now you understand things in a better light, and God forbid you apologize, to me, that is a real sign of a real man or woman. Sorry, zems do not apply here. So, alright. I don't drink anymore, so this sip right here, this one's for you, Captain Kurt, for that day of anxiety you gave me those years ago, where you called out and acted like you had the power to make me dance like a fucking marionette with the strings attached, and by God, I did. Thankfully, I had some good people in my life and in my chat and in my community that told me, dude, don't, like, I went live immediately after and started apologizing, and I'm glad right after that I deleted it, because people told me it would have made me look even worse. I mean, at this point, with how long ago it was, I don't think I'd care too much, but I'm so grateful to so many of you. Yeah, AD, that's okay. I mentioned you in this video. Feel free to skip around and through it, and I hope you understand what I said. I would, you know what, having a conversation with you would be, I think, beneficial, man, because, like, as I see it, all right, I'm just going to be authentic with you. I've always had, like, a respect for you, and when you came onto the scene, I remember, man, you were the sheriff, right? You were calling out the simps. I don't know too much what you do. I like, you know, I see you do the gaming on your channel. But the names I see in your chat often, and it's not always a reflection of you, but I don't know. It sometimes seems like you go after the people that they want you to go after. Or, I mean, don't get me wrong, though. Like, when it comes to Martin Speaks, he's one of the biggest losers I've ever seen on the planet of Earth. Okay, so that's how grand I'm going. Martin Speaks. Thanks for that one, Captain Kurt. At least you gave us Martha, you're glowing. I like that line. One more time. I've offered you $1,000 to prove your claim, and what did you say in return? Because, dude, I know you need the money. You said, no, you gotta go and prove you didn't do the thing that I'm making up that you did. But aside from that, yeah, AD, I mean, there is no disrespect in my mind or my heart for you. I don't, to me, you've changed a lot from how you were when you first came on, where you were calling them all out, man, and I don't know. I think you have the beefs that you stick with, and I don't want to talk out of my ass too much. I mean, Snaggy and all that, that's entertainment, like beefing with people like that, with Martha and Snaggy, that shit's hilarious, man. And Joe Barron, so many unhinged people on this platform. Locals. Alright, I think I've said everything I need to say. Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid, alright? Put it down. Oh, and here's the drink. Captain Kurt, to karma and to you getting blocked by your hero. I hope you do okay. And I'm certain you'll move on. I'm certain you will. I mean, perhaps you shed a few tears, a few tissue boxes next to your bed at this point from the sheer sorrow you've had as a result of being blocked. I don't know. I haven't checked out your channel. I just know it happened. And Deerdorf, I am certain he's going to be 100% okay. To speaking the truth, regardless of being concerned of what others will think, because you only have really a few things that define you in life, and that is the truth that you feel in your heart and mind, and the ability to share that. Or to quote Scarface, all I got is my word and my balls, and I don't something for anybody. God bless. I look forward to looking at all of the shit. I am so drinking out of this 2-liter. I haven't had soda in this house for, by God, I don't know how long. This was a treat, and today was a day for treats. Take care, y'all. I look forward to reading every single comment. Base Girl, much love to you. Saffron, Steven, Seafowls, these are some, White Dragon, Patty. These are some of the names that have been around for this whole damn crazy experience. And you know what? I wouldn't trade it for a damn thing. Later, guys. See ya.